6 at 11, hands across the border. A look at how law enforcement plans to keep drivers safe over Labor Day weekend. And South Carolina's governor making a big announcement today, what it means for students and educators in the Palmetto State. As your news at 11 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins as it's the last holiday weekend of the summer, and officers want to keep people safe. State and local law enforcement agencies coming together with a goal of getting impaired drivers off the roads. Hannah McDonald tells us more.
Hands Across the Border is a traffic enforcement campaign aimed at reducing the number of drunk or distracted drivers ahead of Labor Day weekend. In Georgia, it's against the law to operate a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol concentration level of 0.08 or higher.
We've seen numerous, accidents involving speed, DUI, impairment, people not wearing their seatbelts, stuff like that. So we're really trying to just enforce highway safety. That's kind of our biggest thing, joining up in South Carolina. We're really trying to show the efforts and importance of highway safety, just to kind of help make the community a little bit safer.
Agencies in Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee are conducting sobriety road checks ahead of the Labor Day weekend. Officials hope it sends the message that there is no tolerance for drugged and drunk driving.
I can promise you we're going to be out in full force. If you make that poor decision to drive impaired, we're going to be ready to lock you in. If you drive distracted or if you forget to put that seatbelt on, we're going to be there to stop you and remind you the importance of putting the phone down or buckling up.
Jones says initiatives like these show the public that officers have their backs and to protect our roadways. Officials say Georgia is currently at 800 fatalities, which is down 17% from last year. Powell Harrelson with the Governor's Office for Highway Safety says the message is clear. Buckle up, don't drive distracted or impaired, slow down, and remember one thing.
What it feels like to knock on someone's door to tell the loved one that they've lost somebody in a crash. And I unfortunately had to do that way too many times. So what I want you to do is before you get in that car, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about having to walk up to someone's door and knock on the door and say, you had a loved one that's killed in a crash because of a drunk driver or because somebody was speeding or because somebody was distracted in the car.
If you wish to learn more about Hands Across the Border, you can find the link on our website at WJBF.com. In Augusta, Hannah McDonald, WJBF News Channel 6.
A fire at Jim Hudson Cadillac on Washington Road earlier this evening. Multiple vehicles on the lot caught fire, but firefighters were able to contain the blaze. No word yet on what caused that fire or whether there were any injuries. Time now to take a first check of the weather. Here's our chief meteorologist, Jennifer Tranchi.
Well, it's a beautiful day once again, and right now on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam, we're looking at dry conditions in Aiken. Let's look at our almanac now. This morning we had a low of 62, 8 degrees below normal, and our high temperature was only at 84. Another day in the 80s, and right now our temperatures have already fallen into the 60s. 66 in Thompson, 68 in Augusta. Bamberg, you're still at the 70-degree mark. Same thing in Bardwell, 70 in Wrightsville, 68 in Lincolnton, and 68 in Saluda. Now, earlier today, we had dew points in the 50s. Very low humidity for this time of the year. Now the dew points are starting to rise back into the 60s, so more moisture is moving in, and that means more cloud cover for tomorrow. It'll be a little bit more humid. Winds are coming out of the east, very light, only up to 5 miles per hour. And when you're headed out the door on your Thursday morning, we'll get down to around 63 degrees. Partly cloudy and staying dry. Now later in the day on Thursday, a stray shower can't be ruled out. Isolated storms possible on Friday, and then a better chance of rain as we kick off Labor Day weekend. I'll have more details with a look at your futurecast coming up. And back to you, Jenny.
All right, thanks, Jenna. Several Columbia County homeowners say they've had a series of issues with brown water in recent weeks. County leaders now calling for a water quality task force to address this problem. Leaders say the brown water is caused by a higher usage of water by homeowners during the summer months. But the real issue is the mineral known as manganese, which is found in the lake and river water that the county pulls from. Manganese builds up in the pipes, and that causes discoloration.
Anytime we got a complaint from somebody, we'd come out and flush lines. But what I'm really seeing is I'm seeing people not call the water utility. I'm seeing people go to, again, social media or calling our local news stations and saying, hey, I'm having this problem. And we research that and find out they've never reached out to us to rectify that problem. So standing up this task force is really just Columbia County's commitment to excellent customer service.
Johnson says the water is safe to drink, but if you're still having issues with water at home, the best thing to do is call the county, and they'll respond as quickly as possible for the services that won't cost you a penny. Augusta facing another budget crisis. After using reserves to balance this year's budget, commissioners are facing a huge gap as planning for 2026 spending gets underway. Here's George Escala.
Augusta's administrator looking for input as she prepares to sit down with department directors about the 2026 budget that faces a massive shortfall.
We knew this 3 years ago when we had money being spent on raises for one-time money with ARP money. That was foolish to do back then. Now we have to figure out the smart way of having to overcome it.
This year's budget was balanced using $7 million in Rescue Act funds. But for the 2026 budget, those funds are gone. The administrator telling commissioners there are options, like across-the-board cuts, ending money going to outside agencies like the library, or raising taxes.
None of the options, to me, were good options. I think we're going to have to go back and really, really look at it.
The mayor's saying he wants department directors to model how a 10% cut would impact their budgets.
How it would affect your ability to service our constituents, how it would affect your department. I think it's crucial now.
But the administrator's saying a 3.9% cut would cost 112 jobs.
That seems a lot, and I don't really particularly care for laying anybody off in this time.
But others are not in favor of a tax increase.
There's got to be a time where we got to say we're going to look at doing every 5% cut, 10% cut for every department.
City leaders getting an early start on the budget season, one where COVID relief money will not be able to come to the rescue. In Augusta, George Escala, WJBF, News Channel 6.
A heated debate over book bans in Columbia today. This all happening safety.
And it's been a very nice week. We're getting a break from the high heat and humidity and also a break from the tropics. But as we go into the weekend, we could see some rain again. And the cooler weather will continue into the new month. I'll have your full Wave for 6 forecast right after this break.
It's time to go see dealer for Generac home standby generators. Keeps you powered through any storm. With Generac, you get automatic, reliable backup power when you need it most. Trusted, recognized, reliable. Call Rowell Electric today.
The Live 5 for 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5 for 6.
Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying your Wednesday night. It's very nice out there. It's comfortable as we take a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at Washington Road. Skies are mostly clear and we're down into the upper 60s already. Dew points in the low 60s. Winds are calm and around the CSRA all the way down to 64 in Washington, but still at 72 in Swainsboro. Everyone else in between. We have this stationary front to the south of us, high pressure to our north, and then back to the west, we have another low pressure system, and this is going to be our next weather maker as we go into the weekend. And ahead of that system, we are already seeing some moisture come in. So we had all this orange across the CSRA today. That has been very dry air in place, but now it's being overtaken. So that means that more clouds will be around tomorrow, along with higher humidity as dew points creep back into the 60s in that muggy range. Then as we go into the weekend, dew points will be approaching 70 degrees, and you know what that means. Rain chances are on the rise. Not a lot of rain expected for Thursday and Friday, but Saturday could be a different story, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I also want to talk about our temperatures. So far for the month of August, it has been pretty cool, you could say, as we started out the month with a scorching 97 degrees. Other than that, that, every day has been either near average or below average, with several days well below average in the 70s. And this week is going to stay below average. So right now we are tied in 4th place for the coolest August on record. This is only based off our high temperatures. We're at 86.6 degrees. I did the calculation, and if our high temperatures verify, I'm expecting us to finish off the month in 2nd place around 86.2 degrees as a tie. So we're not going to beat that record, at least most likely. But if we do have more dense cloud cover this weekend, that could bump our temperatures maybe even down into the upper 70s for Saturday. But as of now, I'm going with 82, and low 80s will continue into early next week. Now, tomorrow morning we'll be in the low 60s again. Mid-80s in the afternoon with the increase in cloud cover. Now you can see on our feature cast, cloud cover tomorrow morning, high pressure is moving out as this low pressure system moves in. Isolated showers possible Thursday night and then into Friday morning. And then as we go into Friday night, it's possible we could still see a few showers here and there. So I'm not expecting any major concerns for the football games, but we'll be keeping an eye on it as we'll have this area of a lot of moisture in between these two fronts. So depending on exactly where this low pressure will set up on Saturday, that'll determine how much rain we see. As of now, the best chance at seeing some heavier rain and minor flooding will be in places south of Augusta. This is Saturday through Monday. So keeping the rain chance at 50% Saturday, but only 30% for your Sunday and Labor Day. Rainfall totals could vary between 1/4 of an inch to 1 inch, but some places that see storms could get even more rain than that, of course. But our lows tonight will be in the low 60s with the dry conditions. Highs tomorrow will be in the mid-80s. And the 10-day forecast is showing the rain chances at the highest on Saturday. Then we're drying out by the middle of next week. Lots of sunshine with temperatures eventually getting up to 88 next Friday, but no more 90s in sight.
All right, Jenna, thanks so much. Still ahead, the latest on that deadly shooting at a Catholic school in Minnesota today, plus reactions from the president. First, though, the winning numbers in tonight's South Carolina lottery, pick 3, 955, and the pick 4 winning numbers tonight, 3063, Fireball 8. We'll be right back.
For over 30 years.
North Augusta pulled off a big win against Thompson last Friday. We'll tell you why one of the Yellow Jackets' top players wasn't at all surprised. Sports is next.
Want to get up close and personal with the weather? Request a school visit from the Live 5 or 6 weather team today. It's a cool and exciting way to bring the fun and fascination of weather to students of all ages. Or take a field trip to our state-of-the-art studios in Television Park in Augusta. It's an interactive experience your class won't forget. Request a Live 5 or 6 school visit or studio tour by signing up today at WJBF.com/school-visit. USCA's cultural series is dedicated. Do you have what it takes to be a Border Bowl cheerleader? We're looking for the area's best high school seniors and juniors. Tryouts for Georgia and South Carolina are happening soon, so register now at WJBF.com/cheer. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today. The WJBF Live 5 or 6 Skyview Network is sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
Greetings, my sports fans and aficionados. It is Wednesday, which means it's Scholar Athlete of the Week time. And we've got a phenomenal athlete to tell you about this week. I'm talking about none other than Adriana Sansonis. The South Aiken Thoroughbred senior soccer standout is getting it done in more places than just on the pitch. But we'll start with the athletic accolade. She's a 4-year starter for the T-Breds and a SCHSL All-Region performer. She's also a 2024 Defensive Player of the Year for the T-Breds. Now, beyond that, she's a member of the National Honor Society and an award-winning member and officer of DECA. She also serves as yearbook staff editor, and as numerous as her achievements are, her success has surprised no one who knows her.
Very headstrong. Very headstrong and stubborn and determined to be her own person. Pretty much when she puts her mind to something, she does it, so I'm anxious to see how well she does with it.
She does whatever she needs to do to be successful, and just that growth from being that quiet little seventh grader to where she is now, you can't shut her up on the field right now. So she does an awesome job of being just that leader out there.
This means so much to me, especially with everybody supporting me here. You know, I could cry because I'm just so grateful for my teammates, my club members, my friends, my family, my coach, and it's just amazing.
Congratulations. Now, she's got amazing college plans as well. Gamecock attending USC Columbia.
641-3305. Do you have what it takes to be a Border Bowl cheerleader? We're looking for the area's best high school seniors and juniors. Tryouts for Georgia and South Carolina are happening soon. So register now at WJBF.com/cheer. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today. The WJBF Live Viper 6 Skyview Network is sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
Greetings, my sports fans and aficionados. It is Wednesday, which means it's Scholar Athlete of the Week time. And we've got a phenomenal athlete to tell you about this week. I'm talking about none other than Adriana Sansonis. The South Aiken Thoroughbred senior soccer standout is getting it done in more places than just on the pitch. But we'll start with the athletic accolade. She's a 4-year starter for the T-Breds and a SCHSL All-Region performer. She's also a 2024 Defensive Player of the Year for the T-Breds. Now, beyond that, she's a member of the National Honor Society and an award-winning member and officer of DECA. She also serves as yearbook staff editor, and as numerous as her achievements are, her success has surprised no one who knows her.
Very headstrong. Very headstrong and stubborn and determined to be her own person. Pretty much when she puts her mind to something, she does it. So I'm anxious to see how well she does with it.
She does whatever she needs to do to be successful, and just that growth from being that quiet little seventh grader to where she is now, you can't shut her up on the field right now. So she does an awesome job of being just that leader out there.
This means so much to me, especially with everybody supporting me here. You know, I could cry because I'm just so grateful for my teammates, my club members, my friends, my family, my coach, and it's just amazing.
Congratulations. Now, she's got amazing college plans as well. She's going to be a Gamecock, attending USC Columbia and majoring in criminal justice, minoring in forensics, with hopes of ultimately becoming a blood spotter analyst. Congratulations once again to Miss Adriana Sansonis. Now, we're going to stay in high school, but over to the gridiron, one of Friday night's top performers, and had a major outing in one of the area's biggest matchups last Friday. North Augusta running back Mike Doe, the 5'9", 185-pound Gardner-Webb commit, delivered a monster game during last week's Game Night Live fanfare when the Yellow Jackets took down Thompson 33-7 right here on WJBF News Channel 6, and Doe rushed for 127 yards and a score in the big victory against the Thompson squad that many, including yours truly, tapped as one of the best in the CSRA. But for Doe, his team's win and his performance were not a surprise, given what he thinks they can accomplish this year.
I see a build-up from last year. That's what I see. I see a state championship, a ring. I feel like we can do it this year with all our new strengths. I feel like we can get the ball more to different positions instead of just running.
Mike's going to come ready to work every single day. It doesn't matter what we do, whether we're in the weight room, conditioning, practicing, whatever we're doing, he's going to do it to the best of his ability.
Now, I chatted with Mr. Doe before the season. You can read my Q&A style interview with him on our website, WJBF.com. Doe and company will travel to Lexington Friday at 7:30 p.m. And now, while the current Georgia Bulldog football players are getting set for Saturday's kickoff of the season against Marshall, a whole bunch of former Dogs are settling in to the pros. 57 former Bulldogs, to be exact, made NFL rosters as NFL organizations finalized their initial 53-man squads on Tuesday, with the 2025 regular season just a few more days away. The former UGA standouts are scattered about 24 NFL teams, 11 more than what populated rosters last year. Only Ohio State and Alabama have more. Now, 3 of those guys will be close to home. Tight end Charlie Warner, defensive end Leonard Floyd, and linebacker Jalen Walker, all with the Atlanta Falcons, while running back Trevor Etienne is with the Carolina Panthers. Now, finally, it's time to cast your votes for our Football Friday Night Player of the Week. This week's nominees are Xavier Jeter from Midland Valley, Draylon Brown from Silver Bluff, Tommy Burns from South Aiken, Glasscock County's Davion Richardson, and Tamari Curry from Westside. You can cast your vote once per day on WJBF.com, and the winner will be announced on this week's Friday Night Football show. That's it for sports. We'll be back after this break.
Discover counters and good showers.
Duke TV.
A football-loving man stood up to his girlfriend, and now we'll just have to see if others follow suit. The woman said on TikTok she got a resignation letter from her boyfriend. He called it his 2-week notice. Wow. Not forever, just during football season. He said, I will no longer be available for active boyfriend duties during the following days and times. The resignation included a 10-hour block on Sundays, 11 hours on Saturdays, and Monday and Thursday nights. Oh, wow.
That sounds good in theory. I don't think I can pull that.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, that's our report for now, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you download our mobile app for breaking news and weather. Have a great evening.
News Nation exclusive.